Hello, and welcome back to Lorna Whiston School's podcast, the place where we connect with parents from around the globe to share our experiences on a variety of topics. We are a leading school and have been based in Singapore for over 40 years. We specialize in developing a lifelong love for learning, and our focus is on working with our parents to develop their children's 21st century skills, transforming them into the talented, critical thinkers of tomorrow. I am your host, Lori Borman, and head teacher of English Enrichment. And today we will be talking about raising curious learners. Now, we have all heard about curious cats. And just to let you know, is that I do have 2 cats at my house. And let me tell you, are they ever curious? They are curious about my luggage bags the minute I bring them down. And they actually caught on to what those bags mean when I bring them down from the wardrobe. They are also curious about the air conditioner man when he comes around once every 3 months. And any empty box in the house, they are sure to jump in to find out what's inside. Well, the same thing goes for children. As parents and educators, we want our children to be curious learners as well. They say that people who are curious and who love learning new things are usually happier and more optimistic than those who have no interest in learning. Furthermore, those who are curious generally do well academically. And when they go out to find a job or their work, they usually will find something that is continually interesting to them as well. As educators and parents, we do not want to kill this interest. Just like we do not want to kill the curiosity in our cat. The great thing is that our children are already mostly curious. So let's continue to keep that curiosity and build upon it. Children's innate curiosity plays a big part in their why questions. Their curiosity about the world around them helps to build concepts, skills, vocabulary, and understanding of the unknown. How many of you often find your child or children asking questions? I'm sure many of you do, probably all of you. Well, being a teacher, I realize not only do we ask a lot of questions, but we are asked a lot of questions as well from our students. Sometimes these questions seem to come out of the middle of nowhere, and there is a study that says that curious children will ask 73 questions a day that many parents struggle to answer. Another study shows that 4-year-old children ask 200 to 300 questions in a day. Unbelievable. In a book called A More Beautiful Question by Warren Berger says that students ask 40,000 questions between the ages of 2 and 5. Now, you fathers out there will field most of these questions, but the mothers out there usually get the brunt of these questions. Well, some of the curious questions that I get asked a lot by my students are, Miss Lori, why are your eyes blue? How old are you? Why do cats have fur? Why do your parents not live with you? Why would you run barefoot on the grass? Why in the world did your mom ever use mud on a bee sting? Are aliens real? With a question like, why do cats have fur? I will usually turn the question around to the child and ask, well, why do you think? And I will wait for a response. And then I might answer the questions directly and factual with information that I know, such as cats have fur to keep them warm. Most cats do have fur, but there are actually some cats that have a lack of fur, like the Sphynx. These cats actually are 4 degrees warmer than other cats, but they do like to curl up next to their owners to keep warm. I then would proceed to show them a picture of a Sphynx cat, as I am sure there are many children out there that have never seen this type of cat before. I have certainly given the child more than enough information to keep them intrigued, and yet probably they will want to learn more about cats in the world. as an adult, you can add even more information if you want about cats to intrigue them more by talking about a cat is like us. It's a mammal. Or a cat is a member of a cat family. And do you know what other types of animals are also considered a cat? I might also end with, why do you think there are so many animals in the world that have fur? Why do you think we don't have fur? Through the discussion with your child, you are not only building up their knowledge of the world around them, but as educators and parents, you are enhancing his or her vocabulary. Now, as for that question, how old am I? That is a question that I like to joke around with my students and get their imagination to run wild. My answer is always, children, I am 2 years old. And the children laugh. And the class will say, oh, Miss Lori, you are not 2 years old. You are so big. And my response is, well, that's funny because every time I ask my mother always says that I'm 2. And they like to tell me, well, your mother doesn't know what she's talking about. She's wrong. I said, okay, who tells you how old you are? And of course, the children will say, well, it's usually my mom. I said, well, see, it's my mom too. My mom always tells me how old I am. And they will tell me their true age of how old they are. I said, wow, that's great. You're older than me. I really don't understand why my mom just tells me that I'm 2. And if my mom is wrong, then how old do you think that I actually am? So now I've put it back into their court for them to try and guess my age. And the predictions that I get are priceless. I love the ones when they say that I am over 100 years old. So as parents, you might hear, why can't I stay up as late as you? Or what does it mean when you say, we can't afford that right now? Your child might say, must I really have to go to school today? Or why is the sky blue? Why do people die? Now, as often as we are asked questions, please do try to embrace the moment. Please do not discourage the questions. You want to enrich your child or children. Don't put a damper on their enthusiasm. You want to keep that enthusiasm alive. By showing interest and being available, you are giving your child the opportunity to pursue the love of learning, and that is what we want. Now, as children grow up, it is very natural for them to be curious about the world around them and to ask lots of different types of questions. We do tend to answer a lot of questions for children, but we should also help them to explore, to find the answers rather than just telling them. After all, much of our children's knowledge comes from what we tell them. You could try turning the questions that they have asked back on them and let them try to rationalize what they just asked you. Why do you think you can't stay up as late as me? What do you think? You would feel like in the morning if you did. How would you feel at school the next day? When you're feeling tired, are you able to focus, concentrate? What do you think it means by, well, we can't afford that right now? Where do you think money comes from? As my dad would always say, do you think money grows on trees? Oh, how we wish it did. How else do we need to spend our money? How about you? Have you saved any money? Would you like to spend some of your money on that? When you get asked questions such as, why is the sky blue? Respond with, wow, that's a great question. I'm not really sure why the sky is blue. But I wonder if we looked it up on the internet, if we could find the answer. It's important to research together, and you will learn together. When dealing with certain questions using toys and educational resources and visual aids, they can all play a vital part to help your child use their imagination and to help them with childhood development. At the end of the day, as educators and parents, what we really want for our children is to grow and learn in a fun and creative way. How can you get your own child curious? Maybe you want to build your child's knowledge about dolphins. How about create a mystery bag? Put a toy dolphin or a picture of a dolphin inside it. And have your child ask you 20 questions and see if they can guess what could be inside that mystery bag. Once the dolphin or the object is determined, now you can explore that object together. And if it was a dolphin inside, start asking questions of what you would like to know more about a dolphin. Learn about it together through the research that you do, and you can look up the questions, the answers to the questions that you had. Other things you might do, instead of just talking, is how about conducting an experiment, play a game, or act out a character? These activities help create suspense that gets your child curious and excited to learn more. Using puzzles, jigsaws, and even a treasure hunt as a closure activity will also build curiosity. Now, have you ever tried turning the tables on your child? Instead of always giving them the opportunity to ask questions, how about you start asking them questions? Did you know that by asking pertinent questions to kids can help expand their views and make them more open-minded? Get them to start thinking about problems and solutions to spark their own curiosity. By doing this, you will help them think more out of the box for their comprehension task and will be able to bring their creative side out more in their composition writing. So possible questions that you could start asking your own child would be, would you rather stay indoors for the rest of the day or go outside and play? Would you rather eat something sweet right now or something sour? Would you rather ride a bike or a scooter? Would you rather do your homework alone or would you rather do it with a friend? Would you rather go to an amusement park or a water park? Why? If you could make up the rules in your own home, what would they be? What makes your friends so awesome? If you were lost in the rainforest, what would you want in your survival kit and why? Now, you might wonder, what else can we do as parents? So I want to share with you some things of what you can be doing as parents to help increase your child's curiosity. So one of the things that you can do is to please model a love for learning. Be seen reading, finding answers, and discovering things yourself. Your children will watch and they're going to learn from you. Build up that imagination of your child through books. When reading together, ask, why do you think, or how do you think this story will end? You can try to make your home as a stimulating environment as possible. Your home does not have to be a neighborhood playground, but make sure it does include materials and objects that are stimulating to the senses. The more pictures that you've got hanging around of their artwork and the more colors, the more stimulating it is for them. If your child is crazy about elephants, how about decorating their room with an elephant theme? Provide your home also with a good variety of books, magazines, and newspapers. Use these materials as talking points. Teach your child how to observe. Teach your child that when it comes to curiosity, observation is the most important tool that they have. After all, children are constantly learning through observing. Follow your child's interest. When they are interested in something, go with it and learn along with them. If they're fascinated with cars, learn about cars with them. If they're into seashells, take them to the beach and go on a hunt for them. Look at a variety of shells and make comparisons. What if they're interested in rocks or plants? Go and explore them and research. You're going to help expand your child's vocabulary by doing this together. Model the curiosity that you would like to see in your child. This means trying new hobbies, learning new skills, or showing interest in a new fad or craze. Discuss current events. My dad was great at reading the newspaper to me, and we could always discuss the topics together. Embrace the motto, we try new things, whether it is a new meal, a new sport, a new appliance, or a new home remedy that you recently learned about from a friend or the internet. Oh, I love trying out those home remedies and seeing if they actually work. How about trying to take a new route to the beach or taking a new holiday to a new destination, or even going a new way of making your bed, trying a new way to make your bed? How about trying a new mop? There are so many different mops on the market, and they always have a special selling feature. Let your child or children know that you want to try new things too, and discover things that you previously did not know much about. Teach your children to find answers. When your child or children ask you a question, rather than answering them directly, encourage them to find it out themselves and point to references, such as the internet or other useful sources that they could use. How about taking them to the library, buying books from a shop, or having access to the internet available for appropriate learning activities? So we as parents and educators, we need to provide them with the tools. And then ask what if or why questions yourself to your child of what you want to know more about. Why do you think this soup I'm making needs water? I wonder why this cake recipe doesn't need an egg. I wonder if I don't use an egg, what that texture is going to be like. Is the cake going to become soupy? Why does a cat purr? Why is there leap day? And why are yawns so contagious? Why do people have to speak so many different languages? Why isn't there just one universal language? Why is that man homeless? Why do grown-ups cry with tears of joy? Why do some restaurants have strict dress codes or require no hand phones allowed? By modeling why questions yourself shows that it is an important skill for becoming a lifelong learner. Actively point out to your child that you like it when they ask questions too. Give your child unstructured play and exploration time. Children do need to explore and play on their own. They need time to build up their independence and build their own creativity. Provide them with a range of materials. Give them the pots and the pans from the kitchen. Give them boxes and paper, markers, tape. Give them screwdrivers and wrenches. Give them all sorts of different resources and just watch what they can do with them. Give your child experiences. Take them camping, fishing, hiking. Please take them to the wet market. Go to the zoo. Check out the different museums in Singapore. Go to the East Coast Park, West Coast Park, Sentosa. Take them to that beach. Visit the water parks. Explore the night market. Go to the night safari. Listen to the sounds of the animals. Go to the botanical gardens. Explore the different trees and plants. Visit the different parks. Visit the library. There are so many experiences that we should be giving our children to help them learn and to explore their curiosity even more and recognize what's in the world around them. By giving them these experiences, we'll make them more inquisitive and want to learn more. Make a time during the week to ask and discover questions together even. Set a date. So parents, being curious about things means we love learning. And that's what we want for our children. We do not want our children turned off by upper primary and secondary school where they find learning boring. As for adults, we are all curious about something. And we are constantly asking ourselves questions about things in life that interest us and that we want to know more about. We follow our own curiosity. And these tools have been learnt. And what we need to be doing as parents and educators is giving the tools to our children to help them to explore things and to enable them with resources to help them find the answers that they want to know more about. Just remember that people who love learning demonstrate positive outcomes in their lives. We need to stay curious ourselves. And all we must do as parents is to make sure we don't kill the cat. We want to keep that spark lit inside our children, as at the end of the day, we really want them to become lifelong learners. So parents, I want to thank you very much. That concludes my podcast for today. So again, thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed hosting it. Please do send us any questions you might have or share with us an encouraging story about what you have done to spark your own child's curiosity. Join us for our next podcast, where Mr. Amos will be sharing with us on drama, process versus production.